Before playing a role, actors frequently need to perform some preparation or study. Evan Peters, on the other hand, was instructed to watch a terrifying movie before portraying the notorious serial killer, Jeffrey Dahmer. One of the most adored actors in modern entertainment, American actor Evan Peters has a youthful appearance and continuously astounds viewers in both TV and film with his passionate performances. By crossing the gap between the independent and mainstream film industries and working with some of the best directors working today, Peters has established himself as a known and extremely popular actor. How Evan Peters became famous. Since he was young and first entered the profession in 2004 with the films Clipping Adam and Sleepover, Peters' inclination for roles have largely remained in independent film and obscure television. As he gained recognition, the actor accepted parts in several low-budget films, including Never Back Down, Gardens of the Night, and Remarkable Power. These films also starred Sean Ferris, Jimon Hunso, Cam Gigandet, and Amber Heard. Peters is hailed now as one of the most versatile performers in the business, able to play comedic, dramatic, and dark, menacing characters, as seen on American Horror Story. But this program cannot be compared to his most recent project, in which he played the real-life serial murderer Jeffrey Dahmer and embodied the evil spirit for Netflix's brand new program, Monster: The Jeffrey Dahmer Story. What Evan Peters thought about playing a serial killer. The notorious serial murderer Jeffrey Dahmer, who's played by Evan Peters in the series, was brought to life by Ryan Murphy and Ian Brennan, who also created the show. It is recounted from the perspective of the people he hurt. Peters said in an interview with Netflix that Dahmer's acts were horrifying enough as they were, which is why everything needed to seem genuine. He candidly said in the interview that he was very scared about all the truly despicable things that Dahmer did, and diving into that and attempting to commit to the character was one of the most difficult things he has ever had to do in his life. But since he wanted the portrayal to be very genuine, the role required him to go to genuinely dark places and stay there for an extended amount of time. He continues to say that this thought made him fearful. If you liked this video so far, feel free to leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and be sure to ring the notification bell to be notified of new uploads. How Evan Peters prepared for the role of Jeffrey Dahmer. A 1994 interview with a serial murderer, in which the disturbed guy reflects on his crimes with eerie remorse and guilt, was one of the numerous pieces of media Peters viewed to be ready for the part. According to Peters, he immediately had to go on YouTube, and he watched the infamous Stone Phillips interview, since the director also recommended it. Peters prepared for the role by listening to creepy old recordings and reading old police files to gain some secondhand experience. The persona of the serial killer was quite complex and multifaceted, making it challenging for any performer to portray. During a behind-the-scenes interview with Netflix, he shared his thoughts on the production, saying that he initially began his journey with a blank slate in his portrayal of Dahmer. It didn't even occur to him that the building in which the murders took place was a residential complex. All he could think of was the people in hazmat suits and the blue vat that emerged from the building. He later learned the majority of Dahmer's criminal activities had taken place at the Oxford Apartments. Feel free to leave a like, subscribe, and enable the notification bell for this channel if you're enjoying the video so far and want to see more everyday material. Why Dahmer Monster: The Jeffrey Dahmer Story on Netflix is so divisive. Errol Lindsay, a cousin of one of the victims, stated that the show was cruel for re-traumatizing their family after Netflix pulled the Jeffrey Dahmer story. Since true crime television is so popular right now, Eric Perry commented that he does not want to tell people what to watch. He went on to say that if the people were truly interested in the victims, they should know that his family, the Isbels, are upset about the Netflix show, Dahmer. He said it would be wild to recreate his cousin's emotional collapse in front of the man who tortured and killed her sibling. He went on to question whether the several movies, TV shows, and documentaries that depicted the horrible crimes that led to his family being re-traumatized again and again were necessary. He also asserted that true crime production teams don't notify families when they do any projects just because it's all public record, which is why his family had to find out when everyone else did. He expressed his disappointment by saying that no one calls these companies out when they claim to honor and respect the victims and their families. He finished by saying it's horrible that his cousins have to wake up every few months to a flurry of calls and messages informing them that there would be another Dahmer performance. Evan Peters' defense of Dahmer. He went on to praise the cast and crew of the program for their role in reminding him of the purpose of the creation of the series. Peters claimed that this helped him feel okay despite having to harness his evil side to portray the role of Dahmer Dahmer. According to Evan, it was not the intention of the author to romanticize Jeffrey Dahmer, or to cast him in the position of the protagonist, to elicit pity for a person who committed murder. Instead, it was to tell the horrifying truth of his acts, which is why it was portrayed from the point of view of his victim. Even though his name is included in the title, Peters emphasized that it was more about how the murderer's actions had gone unpunished, owing to flaws in the judicial system and other problems. Peters defended the show, saying that as an audience, you're not sympathizing with him, you're not getting into his plight, you're sort of watching it from the outside. It's called the Jeffrey Dahmer story, but it's not just him and his backstory. It's the repercussions. It's how society and our system failed to stop him multiple times, because of racism and homophobia, and it's just a tragic story. Everybody gets their side told.